There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws.
Before I'll show you guys what he says next, I want you to know this is the post on a Fox News TikTok. And I am, as an immigrant myself, am about to explain to you why did they do that, and why this is completely not legitimate.
And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument, but I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair.
And I agree with him on this one. Yeah, that's a good point, but they posted it not for the reason to show you how good of a politician Obama was. They posted it to make an excuse or partially explain current nowadays policy on immigration.
It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration.
Now again, as an immigrant myself, I'm about to explain you why this is not the case nowadays. Nowadays, everything is completely different, let alone ICE, allegedly, I would say, right? They are not convicted yet. They are coming for citizens, natural born citizens. They are unaliving those citizens, at least 2 so far. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter did they do that by the law or not. It's still an immigration service what unalives United States citizens, its own citizens it's supposed to work for. Nowadays problem is they're literally revoking normal, legal people who came here legally in the right way, like Ukrainians, like those people from Haiti, Nicaragua, and all those country statuses of whom been canceled recently. So now they are illegals. And people complaining not because the current administration coming after illegals or let alone criminals, like the actual one, the real one. But the point is, if they will go after only for criminals, there will be a very few deportations in the country, very few, because majority of the people obviously not the criminals. And by the way, statistics shows that undocumented people tend to commit crimes 3 times less than citizens, for obvious reasons, because they are scared to do that. For citizens, like a theft or something that can lead to a fine, nothing more. Not so big of a deal, right? But for immigrant, especially illegal one, that's 100% deportation, and it will ruin the whole his life. So he's obviously scared. That's why, not because he's better than United States citizens, just because he's more scared than United States citizens. So it was never about going after criminals in the first place. Obviously, it couldn't even been that. Considering the numbers I just told you, it couldn't never been that. It's simply not possible. You cannot create the massive deportations, deporting only the worst of the worst, because those are very few people.
It would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship.
Now, again, as an immigrant, I know I'm saying it a lot, but I want you guys to understand that I know what I'm talking about. I came here legally. In order to maintain my status or in order to transfer it to permanent residence and into citizenship later, I had to pay tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands, not hundreds, not thousands, tens of thousands. So majority of American people cannot handle their own immigration if they would have to. Fortunately for y'all guys, you don't have to, right? You got that luxury being born here. You're not going through hell we are going through. But at least legal people who here legally, those people expect the government to help, not hinder, right? All the government is doing right now, these days, in 2026, is hindering. That's all they do. For instance, Russian people, I know some of those who paid For instance, $22,000 to the lawyer and $10,000 on top of it for some processing fees and all that to get H-1B visa, which is visa for talented people. I know some YouTubers who do that. So now, after the government shut down their opportunity to get those immigrational type of visas, which they did, the government prohibited all entire Russia and 74 other countries to get any kind of immigrational type of visas. So not only those roughly $32,000 are a waste right now, but also those people are not be able to come here or to stay here legally. And now they are illegals even though they did everything right. That's what people are complaining about right now, these days, because those words we're coming for criminals, worst of the worst, blasey blasey, all that, not legitimate, it's a lie. That is not true. They are canceling the existing legal statuses of the people, those paroles and TPSs, and they prevent legal ways to being naturalized here, which is not what he said. Not at all. That's why posting it in order to explain some modern policies of the government towards immigration, this is not legitimate at all. It explains shit. Now let's see another Obama speech, which I guess they just forgot to mention. I guess they just forgot to post it.
Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids.
They forgot to post this one, right? Because it's not aligned with their policy. It's not what they're doing right now, or at least in my opinion, because because what media shows us, what do I know? A lot of Ukrainian people are in detention centers right now. What did they do to you? What did they do to the government right now in order to get this type of treatment? They were specifically invited here into this country because of the war. Right now, another country, the closest neighbor in the past, invaded their country in order to all of them, erase their nation, their mentality, everything about them, burn their cities to the ground. That's what they were doing, the Russians, I mean. The man who lived in Russia a lot of years tells you that, not just anybody, you know? So they fled their country in order to get peaceful life finally. And right now, to be honest, their statuses haven't been revoked. It didn't happen. But instead of revoking them, they're not simply processing it. So the old statuses, they give it to you like for 2 years, for instance, right? Those 2 years are gone, and this is the obligation of the government to process a new status, because the previous one is expired and the war is still there. It was passed by Congress to grant a new TPS, temporary protected status again, for Ukrainian people. This is the law. They're not doing it. They're not doing their obligations. Hence why Ukrainian people right now, they are all in pending status. You know, you go to that website, USCIS, and it says it's pending. And those statuses are pending for more than a year so far. More than a year. In some cases, 2 years. Which is by the law still grants them a legal way to stay here. So the law says they are here legally, but ICE doesn't think so. ICE think if it's pending, it does not give you shit, and you're going to the center. And you're going to detention with us. That's what ICE thinks. And I ask you again, what did those poor Ukrainian people, pure white, by the way, Slavic nation, what did they do to you? How in the world they got this treatment after what they've been through in their own homeland? You know, America is 270 something years old, right? Ukraine is several thousand years old. Kyiv, the city I lived in, which is the capital of Ukraine, recently turned 1,500 years old. Almost 6 times older than the whole United States of America. Those people were thrown out of their homes, out of their country, by another Slavic nation, Russians, which is not pure Slavic, but doesn't matter in this video. And they've been treated here like a shit. And I don't really understand how is that possible in the homeland of democracy, right? Kind of disappointing, I would say. And I'll keep you all guys in touch with what's going on in the world right now. Thanks. Have a good one.